The reason that I am recording this video is because Mother's Day was always a very, very difficult holiday for me, and I know that I'm not the only one. Oftentimes during this holiday, we might have feelings come up or memories come up depending on our childhood and our relationship with our mother, and I never really understood motherhood wounds really, but the more that I got into my spiritual journey, the more I could see that that's exactly what I was experiencing. So this is what I did in order to heal those motherhood wounds, and I just wanted to share this with anyone else who could be experiencing something similar. It is so profound how quickly healing can happen, and I just want you to know that however you're feeling about motherhood, being a mother, your mother, whatever it is surrounding motherhood, it is okay to feel that, and it's going to pass. For myself, I didn't have anyone reminding me of that, and so these holidays were really, really hard, but I was able to look back every single year on this holiday and see just what a complete transformation I was making in my mind, body, and soul, and especially in my heart, because that is so incredibly important. So without further ado, let's get into this motherhood wound healing. So one of the first ways to know that you have a motherhood wound is especially on Mother's Day, if that day feels good for you, if it feels bad for you, and really check in with yourself. Close your eyes, find a quiet place, take a deep breath, and check in with your nervous system. Do you feel obligated to do things that you don't want to do? Do you feel bad feelings from past Mother's Days, or maybe grief or longing? Whatever you are experiencing in this moment and on this day is completely valid. And the more that we bring awareness to what we're actually experiencing instead of suppressing it, the more we can overcome it. So I encourage you to be honest with yourself and also to go at your own pace. If this feels too painful for you, if you are not ready, that's okay. You don't need to completely go through this all today, right now. You can come back and revisit these exercises when you do feel stronger, when you do feel ready. You are your own guide and your own healer, and videos like these are just giving you tools to better help yourself through this process. One of the reasons that we develop motherhood wounds is not just because of our mothers and who they are and how they treated us, but also because a lot of us had needs growing up that were never ever met. And we don't need to blame people for not meeting these needs, because we don't live in a society or in a culture that meets those needs. I know for myself, I needed to be held a lot as a child, a lot. I probably would have really benefited from being like strapped to my mother's back for nervous system regulation, just so that I could feel her 24 hours a day. But in our society, that is not customary, that's not normal. So my mother could not meet my needs of needing constant physical touch, and that need was not met. Another need that is commonly not met in children is getting down to their level. I remember often having conversations with adults where I was looking up at the adult, and that really does throw off the power dynamic. It can create insecurity down the line, and it can change the way that our brain works. So having an adult get down on your level and have a conversation with you as if you are equals, and really valuing your opinion, your thoughts, what you're saying, and not making you wrong for sharing whatever you're sharing, is so incredibly important. So whether you had a prosperous childhood or not, whether you have fond memories or not, there's so many little things that could have been done or not done that could be creating long-term hurt and long-term pain. Another really common cause of trauma that is often overlooked is just learning something too soon. And these are one of the ways that our parents can create neurological wounds for us and emotional wounds for us without even trying to do that, right? They're trying to help us, they're trying to teach us, but making sure that you are sharing specifically age-appropriate content with a child is so important, and something that a lot of people don't know about before having kids or didn't learn about when they had kids. So our needs were not met, and that doesn't mean that we have to blame the people who didn't meet them, because their needs weren't met either. Our society is becoming more and more emotionally aware, and as we do, we are becoming aware of our needs not being met. So now that we have this awareness, because we can feel it in our heart, we can feel it in our body, we can feel it in our overthinking thoughts or racing mind, we can start to heal this need. And the way that we're going to do that is by meeting our own needs. The best way to heal this wound is to be there for yourself. And I know you might think that sounds hard or something, but trust me, it is so rewarding. You now are an adult, maybe even the age of a mother, maybe you even are a mother. And so you have all of the skills and all of the resources to meet the needs of your inner child, even if you've never ever experienced that before. And that is okay to not know how to do that. You've never experienced it before. We've never seen it before. So today, start now. Allow yourself to pivot, to create a new identity right here, right now, in this moment, that you are going to be the person that meets your own needs. And it is such a beautiful experience and a beautiful journey to know exactly what you desire on every single moment and be able to give yourself exactly that. This is what it means to not be insecure and to really be empowered as a woman. The women who have done divine feminine journeys and are really in their power as a woman have done this work. I know for myself, I even took parenting classes, and I don't have a child, just to learn what my inner child would need. And every single child is different. So even if I tell you exactly what my inner child needs, your inner child might not be satisfied with that. No matter how much time it's been since you were a child, it is never too late to close your eyes, to take yourself back in time, and to picture yourself as a little baby, and make this pact with yourself that you are going to be there for yourself through thick and thin, that you can depend on yourself and be reliable, that you are going to nurture yourself when you need nurturing, love yourself when you need loving, create happiness and jokes for yourself when you need lightheartedness. Whatever you need, you are making this promise to your little baby self that you are going to give her just that. And then allow yourself to be in this journey. Allow yourself to be the mother of your inner child. And through this journey, you might find yourself putting your inner child's needs ahead of yours and pulling yourself back into balance. Finding yourself in conflict. Your inner child wants to stay up late and watch Netflix and party and see friends and do things, and then the inner mother gets to kind of rope her in, but with love, maybe in a way that's so different than how you were raised growing up. Maybe that harsh curfew system and penalties and taking your things away wasn't the best way for you to learn. So now you get to give yourself exactly what you need. I absolutely love this holiday because inside every single woman we have our own divine mother. Whether you want children or not, we all have that maternal instinct. The part of us that wants to nurture ourselves, that wants to respect our own boundaries and love ourselves and live this romanticized life. But oftentimes we shut her down because we don't know how. So this is the way, this is how. It's by choosing to see yourself as two parts of yourself. You are not always the hurting person and you're not always the happy person, but you might always have both of these parts within. And maybe your inner child is always sad, but she won't be forever because you have got her now. It is such a beautiful, beautiful journey to make promises and pacts with yourself like this. And we're not making promises that we're always going to get it right because we're not. But we're making a promise to ourselves that we're going to keep trying. We're not going to abandon ourselves anymore. Big, deep breath. We are not going to abandon ourselves anymore. That means not being mean to ourselves when we're feeling sad. Or telling ourselves that we shouldn't be feeling this way, that we need to get over it as quickly as possible. And instead learning how to actually be there for ourselves, how to actually meet our needs. One of my favorite somatic practices that goes along with everything we've talked about so far is finding yourself in a point of meditation, sitting down, sinking into the hips, allowing your spine to be straight, and holding your hands in front of you the same way that you would be holding a little baby. And imagine yourself there. You are holding the baby version of you, swaddled up, smelling so good, and just sleeping peacefully. And imagine saying to her all of the harsh things that you say to yourself. We just can't. So forgive yourself for being hard on yourself. Give yourself a hug. And go back to holding that little baby and telling her that we have got her now. That we're going to love her exactly how she needs to be loved. Exactly how she wants to be loved. And we're so happy to learn how to love her. Maybe in a way that no one else on this planet ever has. Allow yourself to kiss her if you need to or hold her more tightly. Because this relationship that you have with yourself is the most sacred and divine thing that we can experience. And by cultivating this relationship with ourselves, all of our relationships externally with friends, family, coworkers, acquaintances become so much more fulfilling because the relationship with you becomes fulfilling. So today, allow yourself to be where you are, to love yourself as you are because you deserve it. And continue to love yourself as you need. keeping in mind that a year from now you could feel completely different on days like this.